take you now to this developing story, a press briefing being held by the ANC at Milpark Hospital. Let's tune in.
So that we could give you an update on the condition of our comrade, our friend, our colleague, Mpho Moerane. First, we must start dispelling what would have allowed a hospital car to pass by. First, we must start by dispelling rumors and all of the things that were going out on social media suggesting that Mpho would have passed on. Mpho is still very much alive. We are standing with the family at this moment at the African National Congress. We are here at the Milpark Hospital to offer that kind of support. We have been with the family throughout all of this period. We have offered them the support they needed so much. We are encouraged and motivated by the prayers given by the pastors. We had the Anglican bishop coming over to offer their prayers. We had the structures of the African National Congress giving us the support needed during this time. Earlier today, when I spoke to the Treasurer General of the ANC, Comrade Pule Mabe, he did confirm that in contact with the family, everything was being done to make sure that we give support required for Mpho's recovery. All hoping that Mpho will emerge out of this fight much more stronger. What has worried us were media reports earlier today that would have suggested that Mpho has passed on. We must state it on record that Mpho Moerane is very much alive. He's the man we all know, we love passionately, and one on whose behalf we stand. We are going to give him that support and make sure that in his road to recovery, he should know that his friends, comrades, and family are fully behind him. We must send this message to Fikile and the kids. They must know that we are with them. The TG has said that we must tell the people of Joburg that the ANC understand the role that Mpho Moerane has played, both as mayor, although for a brief time following the passing on of Jolly Mantonga, who was again another activist of our revolution. These are hard times for the ANC. Mpho is in here, just behind us, and all we are hoping for and wishing for is that he recovers, bounces back, comes back to life, and does what a caucus leader of the ANC is expected to do. We must commend him for the work he has done up to so far. He has ensured that we steer the ship as an effective opposition here in the city of Joburg. As the mayor of Joburg, although for a short stint, he did all he could to display his humility, his bravery towards resolving the electricity problem here for the people of Johannesburg was one such example. We know that Mpho is a fighter and are hopeful that he's going to bounce back much more stronger. The media must depend on us for updates. We've agreed with the family that between ourselves at Lutulia House, we'll advise the region in Johannesburg, would make sure that we give the updates that are required on this one, so that there is no one who distributes ill-informed messages that creates panic out there amongst our people, our members, communities, and those that Mpho came to serve. If there is any other thing that requires us to update the media on, we shall do so on our own volition. Mpho is here being cared for by the doctors. We must thank all of the doctors that did their work every day. We'll continue to do their work to make sure that Mpho could heal, come back to do his work as the leader of caucus of the African National Congress. We believe and hope that he will come back. We must assure our members that their leader is here. The one who has displayed greater humility is very much alive. They must believe in the honors of the ANC to do what must be done, which is to discharge the leadership responsibility. I'm going to hand over to Mike, who is the family spokesperson, but also must not hesitate to thank him and many others, including the ANC in Joburg, who had also taken the fort to come here and give yourselves update. We must thank them. We must thank all of our structures. We must thank the pastors. We must thank everyone else who had made it their duty to make sure that they pray with the Moerane family. We must also thank the Moerane family to have allowed us to be the ones that give updates on their behalf about their son's health. This shows their commitment and devotion to the African National Congress. For that, we are thankful. I'm going to hand over to Mike Maile to at least give yourselves updates on behalf of the family.
Thanks, Comrade Pule. I think you've covered most of the issues. I think on behalf of the family, we'd just like to thank members of the public and the different formations who have given support to the family. The messages have been well received, and we are positive that they will contribute towards helping Mpho recover soonest. I think Comrade Pule have said the most, and I wouldn't like to take more time.
Well, thank you. I think we must thank members of the media at this stage to have made their time late in the evening to allow us to give the public this important update. We are calling for the people of South Africa to pray for Mpho Moerane. Wish him well and hope he recovers. Because Mpho has displayed great service and humility to our people. Thank you very much for coming. We thank you very much for coming this late. We are asking for broadcasters and those that would have spread news that Mpho had passed on to correct that notion. Mpho is very much alive. Put him in your prayers. He will survive and will come back bound stronger. Thank you very much.
Mr. Maile, just a question from the family side. How is the former mayor of Johannesburg, and where would this news of his passing be emanating from? Because many of your own comrades are of the similar view, Mr. Maile.
Look, I can't account for rumors. I do not know where they emanated from, how they started. All I can say is give you the information that we know. That is, Comrade Mpho is critical. He's being taken care of by, we believe, the best medical team there is, and we can't account for the rumors, but we've already condemned those as irresponsible because it's hurtful towards the family, and we would appreciate it if people could refrain from spreading such rumors.
Particularly pertaining to his condition, not to go too much into his medical records, there were also members going around, particularly amongst your own members, some even your own leaders within your own organization, saying that a certain time frame had been given to the family to ponder some of the most difficult decisions that they may have to take. Is there any credence to some of these allegations that are being branded about, particularly by your own members and leaders? None
whatsoever. Like I said, Mpho is being cared for, and we have confidence in the team that is taking care of him. And what you just said now is a rumor, and like I said, we need to dispel and discourage people from spreading false rumors. What is happening to Mpho is that his doctors are doing the best that they can, and the people who can best explain his condition are the doctors, of which they want because of the patient-doctor privilege.
Mr. Maile, on a political aspect, what then happens, because we do know that there's supposed to be a regional conference in Johannesburg where you are also a member and a leader. What then transpires now? Do you then postpone that regional conference until your fundraiser, former Treasurer General, gets better? What processes do you take going forward?
Are you sure that question shouldn't be answered by Pule? But nonetheless, the ANC, I mean, you can't stop organizational processes and work. because a member, we've got 1 million members, and at any given time there is one member of the ANC who is sick in a region or in a province, and we can't stop processes, organizational processes, if one person is incapacitated. But I'm sure Comrade Pule might want to add.
No, that's fine. We would want to add, I think Samkelo is opportunistically being unfair to you, which I found very unfair. Comrade Mpho had served, and perhaps to read out these credentials to Samkelo, the viewers out there and those who might be watching. Besides having been a young activist who grew up in Alexander, displayed his humility in his growing up, he served as treasurer of this region, was appointed a mayor after the passing of Comrade Jolie Mandonga, who was again a revered activist of the organization. Our organization now is praying with Mpho and his family for Mpho to heal, to come back, and again display his selflessness to the overall political work of the African National Congress. We are not worried about Congresses now, because the life of a comrade supersedes a Congress. A Congress only elects you to discharge a responsibility. We can never measure how we live according to how much we are elected or affirmed by Congress. So it's rather unfair. Our call to all of you in the media is to at least display maximum compassion this time around. The life of a person cannot be weighted against a Congress. It's unfair.
That was the ANC spokesperson.
All right, ANC spokesperson Pule Mabe, as well as Mike Maile, who is the spokesperson for the family of the Moerane, just dispelling some of those rumors once again in terms of whether he's alive or not. We have been seeing activity around the fact that he has passed away, but they are here to clarify in terms of some of those issues, to say that he is very much alive, that the doctors are tending to him, and that the doctors would be the ones who would be able to speak about his condition. But at the moment, the family as well as the ANC are just trying to say that all of those that are, speaking about these rumors, all of those that are making these rumors, including us as the media, must have compassion in terms of what the family is going through. We do understand that after the accident of Mpho Moerane last week around the 10th, he in fact was brought to the hospital. Ever since then, the family has been camping at the Milpark Hospital each and every day. The last update that we got before this one was to say that he is stable but remains unconscious. So as the family, they've been praying around his recovery, and at this stage we do understand that there is still a glimmer of hope for the family. They are hoping that he will make a full recovery, and that is what they were talking about today, to say that they are hoping that he will wake up. But amid those claims of saying that he's passed away, they are saying that that will be communicated and centralized from the family as well as the leaders of the ANC. Now, on the issues of the regional conference that is supposed to take place, I believe on that weekend of the 28th, this particular month, it is about a week or so from there, we do understand that things will go on if Mpho Moerane is not up. But according to the family, we do understand that they are hoping that he would then regain consciousness, he would then recover enough to actually accept nomination if he is nominated. We do understand that he is pitted against Tata Morero, who is the current regional secretary of the region. So those are some of the things that are being said at this particular stage. But I can tell you that one thing, and first and foremost in terms of all of this, they are saying that their hopes are still strong, and that they wish that all of those that are, conspiring in terms of these rumors must just show some compassion for a family that is going through a difficult time. But more than anything, a former mayor of the city of Johannesburg and a senior member in the regional aspect of the ANC in Johannesburg, they are hoping as well that he would recover and be able to resume some of those things that gained him the credentials that Pule Mabe had spoken about just a few moments ago.
Lindo, before I let you go, it is all rather tragic, isn't it? I mean, we were on air together in September last year when you reported from the scene of the car crash in which Joburg Matongo died. And then a few days later, you were at the swearing in of Mpho Moerane, who then became mayor just for a month or so. And it was a very emotional swearing in that you reported on that date, because Mpho Moerane was a close friend of Joburg Matongo. This entire story is just so tragic, isn't it?
Tragic indeed, and in fact not a good spell for the ANC in the region of Johannesburg. They first lost the first mayor, that was Geoff Makubo, and after that Joburg Matongo, who took over not too long, he had passed away as well on that scene that you were explaining when we in fact responded to some of the messages to say that he might have been in an accident. We witnessed him being taken away from his car and being declared dead on the scene. And you're speaking about now another tragedy for someone who was a close friend to Joburg Matongo, who was in fact now the successor of him because of his passing. You speak about the moment when Mpho Moerane was being sworn in at the chambers of Johannesburg, and he was in fact in tears. He gave a very emotional speech saying that he, could not necessarily want to succeed Joburg Matongo at the time, except to say that he would want to do it for his friend. Of course, at the time, he was going to just be the mayor for about 30 days, and he said that those 30 days for him were a lot to prove and to continue the legacy of Joburg Matongo. So it's really a tragedy for the ANC in the region of Johannesburg. They have lost about 2 mayors in such a short space of time, and right now we do know that from that update from the family, the Mpho Moerane is now, fighting for his life in this particular hospital just behind me, the Milpark Hospital. So a tragedy really for the ANC, but there are still hopes, I should say, particularly from the family. We've been keeping tabs with them, speaking to them. They are hopeful that he will make a full recovery, as well as some of the comrades I've been speaking to on the sidelines. They are hoping that because he was going to stand for the chairperson of the region when it comes to the regional conference that would have come, they are hoping that he will make a recovery, at least to do what we've seen many other leaders do, those that were on a step aside. We've seen Mandla Msibi in Mpumalanga, we've seen Mamzandile Kumete in the region of eThekwini. In absentia, they were able to say that they are accepting nominations from the branches, and that was through a letter. So some of the comrades were telling us that they're hoping that at least he'll regain his consciousness and be able to affirm in terms of a letter, at least to say that he would then accept to be nominated as the chairperson of the region of Johannesburg. So those are some of the things that we know are developing. But at this stage, I can tell you, Marcel, taking me back to that particular point in time where he was sworn in, when he was succeeding his, in fact, friend as well as comrade Joburg Matongo, it is a tragedy that he himself find himself in this position right now.
Indeed, thank you so much, Linda Pule, reporting to us live there from Milpark Hospital, where the ANC has just given a press briefing confirming that Mpho Moerane is indeed in that hospital fighting for his life, according to reports, dismissing reports again that he has died, reports circulating both on social media and other media platforms.